people who take business seriously, it is always a chase. You don't just no.
You don't just
You don't just no. You don't
Okay.
do that. It's a plan. At ideation stage, where you're coming up with solutions, I'm sure you will remain with like even 3.
When you're saying empathizing, I think it should not only be like a one side aspect of empathizing. It should be also empathizing, like also you personally can be able to relate to that idea. Like for example, there's something that connects you, like you personally, there's something that really connects you to that.
I like the aspect that you're bringing.
Because for example, maybe when there is you said like you're feeling the pain before you get into, because if you get into someone's shoe, it means you're feeling someone's pain. Maybe it might not be like your pain, but it's going to become easy if you're also able to feel the pain without getting into this person's shoe. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense.
You can closely relate to.
Yes, something that you
there
can
is this word that has
closely
always
relate.
been misused. I don't know if it's misused or thrown around a lot, but the word passion.
Yes,
is it
passionate
something
about,
that
you're
triggers
passionate.
something in
Yeah,
you?
something you're passionate about. Yeah, so that can help you to know what problems to focus on more.
But you know why that is very realistically speaking. And I think we didn't just mention how serious the point was.
What?
We said that green enterprises, social enterprises, most of them don't bring a ton of money.
Yeah, true.
So you must have something that is pushing you, not the money.
The money should not be the first factor that is
So what is
pushing
that
you
factor?
into getting into. Yeah.
So what
No,
is
I
that
get it.
factor that is pushing you? That factor would be now one of those things that you mentioned. Something that makes you happy. Something that you want to solve. Sema Ashida that.
An issue that affected you and now you want to deal with it.
That is something that
There's
connects
something
you.
that connects. Yeah.
Meaning even if you don't make money, you will still
You'll be
wake up
satisfied,
to have solved that issue.
Hello, great people. Welcome to another episode of the Urban Online Show. I hope all of you are doing okay. I'm doing okay, in case you wanted to know. But it's another week or day to record an episode. So this is like a continuation of the last episode we had. And because it's a continuation, it means it's the same person you're having this conversation with. So
What are you doing? What is
drum
that?
rolls, like
So useme, what useme?
si nikifanya hivi poshindo, lakini karibu.
Bottle open.
Welcome again, Edwin.
Thank you, Edwin. Happy to continue with where we left. Yeah.
Yes. So Edwin, just like a context, in the last episode we were talking about green initiatives or green entrepreneurships, to be specific, right? And we went ahead to define what green entrepreneurship is, differentiating it from the normal entrepreneurships, entrepreneurs and stuff like that. Then we went deeper into looking at the couple of things that are there. But there was a concern. When we were having the conversation, we were talking as if we were talking to people that are already doing these things, people that already have the idea. So the only thing we were mentioning to them was maybe how to know where the money is, what to do to get this money out to align your initiative. But there's a concern that there are some people, maybe they want to get into the green space, that is green entrepreneurship. So how the process of getting this idea, even them knowing is this like a green enterprise to begin with. So starting from that, so it's like I want us to go back to an idea, coming up with an idea.
Good. It's good that a few people got interested in this.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to look at a few areas here that people also talked about. Yes. Nice, I got them. So let's talk about that. The first thing was us getting into what is green enterprises, what is an enterprise, what is business, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But we forgot that for someone who wants to start, how do we start?
Yeah.
So I always have this way of thinking about it. So there is a few approaches of how to come up with ideas for those that are looking forward to get into green space or green enterprises or even any other. I think this applies for any other
Okay, any other type
business.
of
How do you
enterprise.
come up with
Okay.
such ideas?
Okay.
Um, Number one, this is always an instinct. Yeah, something you're born with.
What, an instinct?
Unaona like you're brought up in an environment, unasema mi nikiwa mkubwa ndataka ni
Wow.
yeah, some people, that's one way
Really?
of yes, we have people who had envisioned
What
them
did you
doing
want
what they're
to
doing
do
right now.
when you're young? What were you saying? Like, when I grow up?
But me, I'm not in that category. I think
I'm
if
just
you get those
asking.
people,
I'm just asking you.
my story is weird because the environment I was brought up.
No, like,
we,
just know when you're going to school and then they ask you, Edwin, what do you want to do
That's
when
what
you
I'm
grow
saying.
up?
People think it's normal for people to say that when I grow up I want to come this. But based on the environment that we were brought up, it was very hard to think past.
But as a kid, you're not thinking past. You're just looking at maybe the things you've seen or you've had, maybe people saying being a doctor
Trust
is
you me, that was
nini.
not a conversation we had. Actually, now
Like,
that you're asking,
I'm like, you know what I'm
I
trying
know
to
what
say?
you're asking.
Yes,
Like,
for
every
example,
child
as a
wants to
kid,
say, I
yes,
want to be a doctor,
maybe
I want
because
to be...
maybe you've watched a movie or a cartoon and you've seen.
That's the
or
problem.
some-
That's the problem. I watched my first television when I was in class 7.
Okay, by then. Okay, sorry. Let's continue.
Let's
Continue then. No.
But umepata why I'm
Yeah.
struggling with
Yes,
that,
yes.
yeah?
Okay, let's
And I
just
think it's also
continue.
important for me to mention that your environment also determines how
Guys,
your
that we didn't
exposure.
have what.
Wewe sasa unataka nianze kufungua maisha yangu hapa.
No, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that does not make me fail to recognize that we have people who are born and in their young age, they say, I want to be a businessman. This is the business I want to do. Most of them are always maybe influenced with parents or right. So that is one way of how people come up with ideas, looking generally. So that could be one. And such, again, I've said it's always an influence from family member. Maybe baba yako alikuwa anafanya the same business, or your mom, or something like that. The same way people get into agriculture. Many people who do agriculture, if you follow very well, they have a connection with their family members or someone who was doing large scale. So that's one. If you're not in that category, let's jump to this other side. We have those who wants to solve a problem, right? Something affected them. So they were not even thinking about getting into that, but when they interacted with that problem, they said, okay, I want to help my community solve this problem. So in the process, they make money, but it was based on problem. Most people who do things like community kitchen gardens or things like that are people who you might get, they really understand what it really means to lack food. Hata kama si yao, but someone close to them alipitia hiyo shida. Because any other person wouldn't know that manze hii uji yenye tunapika hapa kwa community would really help a child in this community.
Yeah.
So going through some problems. Housing. People from informal settlements, if they had capital, many of them would venture into housing as a venture.
Yeah.
Because they really understand what it means not to have a shelter. Now, lastly, which is the professional way, which I want us to even dwell much in, is using professional approaches. There are so many, but the most common one is always the design thinking process that we know. So with design thinking process, it's taking you just through a series of steps that trigger some, how would I say, some signals in your brain to note that
some nuts.
you understand? No, not some nuts.
How are they called?
What do you want to say?
Seek to trigger, like
Well, leo umefanya hivi mara mingi.
No, are they not nuts? Like, for example, look at that door, that nini that is there. When you want to,
Knobs.
yes, are they knobs or nuts? I don't know.
That's maybe knob.
Yeah.
So you get that when you there is always that wow moment. Oh, I can do this.
Just to
Oh,
engage your mind
your
to think
brain, yes.
beyond.
Because we have things that happen around you and you never notice until you
Yeah,
sit
you've never
down.
thought about
You've
them
never even
really.
thought
Yeah,
about
yeah.
them. So that's what design thinking does. The process just takes you through the step one, step two, step three. By the time unafika mwisho, you're like, ah, so this is how these things happen. And there is very key steps to design thinking process.
Yeah, yes.
Very key steps. My favorite one is always empathy. Empathy is putting yourself into the shoes of your community members. We said for you to come up with a social enterprise which is solving a problem, and in an extension I mean green enterprises,
Yeah.
you should be geared towards helping a community, helping an environment. And how are you going to know the um, where the shoe is pinching them if you don't put yourself into those shoes? So that is always a very interesting one. I wish we had time. We could go through step by step to see what is it. So the first thing is actually that, and I've said it's always my favorite one, empathizing. Are you coming from an informal settlement? Are you coming from a rural area? Are you coming from whatever place?
More like personalizing the problem.
Yes.
Or the solution.
Put yourself there. Wajieke hapo.
Make it human.
Make it human. Then you will start noticing.
What is the importance of empa- em-
Empathy,
empathizing
with the people or with a community or with a subject. I think the importance is understanding things from their perspective. Ushai kuja kuniuzia kitu na ni kitu mi sihitaji. So it also helps you not come up with the products or services that people don't want. If you come in my house and then uone mende, next time ukiniletea dawa ya mende unaniuzia, what is the probability that I'll buy? They are high because that is something that I need. But kwangu kama sina mende, and then you bring dawa ya mende, you want to sell it to me. But how will you know kwangu kuna mende? You have to come and I know that's not people who are selling dawa ya mende don't do. They don't come and check in your house.
Yeah.
But you that is actually the essence. The essence is be in someone's spot, get to know their pain points, yeah? Where are they having difficulties?
Or rather coming up with ideas that are not really ideas, with solutions that are relatable, solutions to problems that are relatable.
It helps you do that, but at this point you're not even thinking about the solutions. At this first point.
Okay, ideas that are relatable.
You're not even thinking about ideas yet. You just want to understand their issues, their problems, their pain. Actually, the word is pain.
Okay.
What is their pain? So that's why the first step is important. And now those are English words. Now let's put it practical into a community. Talk to people, get to know where ishi now hapo. You have been with most of people who start very good initiatives have been within the community that they are serving or their markets that they are serving. So if you are selling in informal settlements, I wouldn't tell a youth in an informal settlement to empathize because that has been their life. But if you're coming from elsewhere, then you still have to come talk to them, get to know them, be with them, understand their pain. After empathy, we go to you could now define that problem, coming up with a proper definition of what the problem was, and that is now easy because now you just write this is the problem that people are going through. After now defining that problem, the next step is the ideations. Now you start coming up with ideas. My ideas here is crafting solutions. Can this work? Can this work? And what is the baseline in which you are testing this? The problem statement that you had in defining or definition stage.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you define? What you experienced, what you understood, the pain you went through during empathy stage.
Mm-hmm.
So you empathize, you define the problem, maybe come up with a problem statement, then you start ideating. Ideating is looking at which solutions can really fit into this. So you're generating ideas. Whatever ideas you stick with, you prototype it. We want to see it. Is it something that can be seen? Prototyping means you come with
Come
a
up with a
sample,
sample,
a
yeah.
sample of. And prototyping, you could even have users and tell them, hey, Nyaje, can you test this? You prototype testing, you realize that that process can be in a loop, can be in a loop. Because after prototyping, what do? You go back to the community. But where did you start? Back to the community, understanding there. So you see, you are like back there. You want to also realize that this is the pain I identified. This is the prototype I have. Is it solving their problem? So you're back to really understanding their pain again. Have I elevated their level of pain? Have I reduced it? Have I? You're back to empathy again. What happens if you realize that the pain is still too much or you have not done much? You go through the process again. You define that, then you realize that it is a loop. The only time you're getting out of this loop is when now your prototype has worked. And now you're saying I can scale it up, or I can now go to our last episode where you're looking at funds to.
Yeah. To elevate your idea or to scale your idea.
Exactly. So boys and girls, that is how you come up with an idea.
Should we close now? There we go. We go. As easy as that.
Yeah, this is very important, and I think we missed it last time. Before you
Yeah.
go to even aligning or
No, it's not. I think we were talking to people that already
have this. Yes.
the idea. So we really didn't think that there may be someone that is struggling to come up with an idea, and it's good that it came out immediately after that, so that it doesn't take long before we
review it,
and
yeah.
do that on coming up with ideas. But I have a question though.
Yes.
How do you, because you've made like a process of a general way of coming
Yes.
up with ideas, business wise, whatever wise, just ideas, solutions. So how, because we are talking about green enterprises, how do you make sure your idea is like literally green, a green idea?
Yeah.
Because in the first episode we were saying that it's important also to know and to note and to make sure that the solution you're offering is really adapting or mitigating to climate change, not like something you're
Yes,
just like. So how do you make sure?
It's I think it's just being biased.
Okay.
Being biased. And by being, what does being biased mean? Being biased always means that you choose not to look at other things and only look at other things. Yani unachagua what is making sense to you and what is not making sense to you. So in this case, if you want to be a green entrepreneur, you have to be biased. So when you go to the community to empathize with them, to understand your pain, which kinds of pain are you looking for? Only the pains that touches on things to do with the climate, with the environment. Hizi pain zingine. So if someone says, hey, umejua siku hizi sisi hata tuna place ya kulala. You're like, okay, that's a pain, but
Is there no way of, because I don't really think we can really ignore the other factors. Is there a way, like you're focusing really on climate change,
Yes.
climate action, adaptation, mitigation, all those things we talked about? That is your area of focus. But when you go to the community and realize there are other problems,
yes.
right?
Which definitely will
Yes,
be.
yes. So how, I'm just imagining, is there a way of trying to, your goal is still climate action, but you're also trying to make sure that, because there's a way, you said, what was the example you said, the problem you identified?
Housing.
Housing.
Yes.
Is there a way you are able to connect housing to like
But you
so
see,
that
if you go that way, it's possible, yes. But if you go that way, you will be overwhelmed. I mean, you will be overwhelmed because there is a lot of problems in the community. So if you get a problem, and yes, last time we also noted that it's very hard to find a problem that does not connect back to the
yes.
environment. Yes.
Yeah.
So it means you're going to get all these problems, and then you're going to be tempted to solve all of them, which is always impossible.
Okay.
So I think when we are doing empathy, and you're you should also we should also be keen to try and focus on what is it that we want. What is it that not what is it that we want, because if you already knew what you want, then there is no need of doing empathy stage. You, how would I say it? I mean, what you are able to solve. Be realistic.
How do you really know what you're able to solve? Okay, like in a scenario where you've gone to the community, you're identifying problems that are related to, like you've already agreed that your niche is climate action. So you're solving problems related to climate actions. Means you have to identify problems.
Yes.
Problems that are related to climate action. But there are like a lot
A
of
lot of problems, which is typical to any community.
problems.
Now you know
Oh
your mind has registered
no.
it. It will always come out the way you're
Ah!
trying to.
My village people, please, a few
Oh,
minutes.
it's your village people.
Yeah. Like there are a lot of problems, especially for example, if you're focusing on urban informal settlements, there will be waste.
There'll be a lot.
There'll be a lot. So how do you now able to pick that one that you're able to and ignore the rest because you've
You
said
remember
you cannot
the
do.
next step.
Yes.
Yeah, after you have empathized, you will want to define it, right? So here I am. I've tried to be biased as much as I can. So when someone tells me that, hey, today I don't have money, that's a financial problem. I know we have financial solutions, but I'm saying because I'm not looking at economical issues, I'm not going maybe to come up with a fintech solution. That is not my field. So at the stage of empathy already usha toa zingine, yeah. Then now you have these all problems that we're talking about, an array of issues that of course all of them still connect to green solutions. But for you now, how do you know which one to? We come to the second stage. The second stage is trying to define them. Defining simply means looking at them into details now, and putting them on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting
Critically.
them down.
Yeah.
So you may even have noticed 6 pain points, and you have defined them. When you're coming up to the next stage, you are ideating. You're coming up with ideas. I'm sure you can't have ideas for everything.
Yes, they're smart people. Yeah.
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 So the more you continue going up these steps, the more you're dropping them. At ideation stage, where now you're coming up with solutions, I'm sure you will remain with like even 3.
Yeah. Also, I think also when you're saying empathizing,
Yes.
when you're saying empathizing, I think it should not only be like a one side aspect of empathizing. It should be also empathizing, like also you personally can be able to relate to that idea. Like for example, there's something that connects you, like you personally, there's something that really connects you to that.
I like the aspect that you are bringing.
Because yeah, for example, maybe when there is you said like you're feeling the pain before you get into, because if you get into someone's shoe, it means you're feeling someone's
Yeah.
pain. Maybe it might not be like your pain, but it's going to become easier if you're also able to feel the pain without getting into this person's shoe. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense.
You can closely relate to.
Yes,
There
something
is
that you
there is
can
this word that has
closely
always
relate.
been misused. I don't know if it's misused or thrown around a lot, but the word passion. Yeah?
Yes,
Is it
passionate
something
about.
that
Yeah, you're
triggers
passionate.
something in
Yeah, yeah,
you?
something you're passionate about. Yeah.
So you realize now that can reduce that list.
Yeah, so that can help you to know what problems to focus on most.
But do you know why that is important? Realistically speaking, and I think we mentioned, we didn't just mention how serious the point was, but I think we mentioned it.
What?
We said that green enterprises, social enterprises, most of them don't bring a ton of money.
Yeah, true.
So you must have something that is pushing you, not the money.
The money should not be the first factor that is
So
pushing
what is that
you
factor?
into getting into. Yeah.
So what
Now
is
I
that
get
factor
it.
that is pushing you? That factor could be now one of those things that you've mentioned. Something that makes you happy. Something that you want to solve. Sema Ashida that.
An issue that affected you and now you want to deal with it.
That is something that
There's
connects
something
you.
that connects, yeah.
Meaning even if you don't make money, you will still
You'll
wake
be
up
satisfied to just
have solved that issue. So yes.
Like for example, I want to use you
want to
one of the not really one of the initiatives where I know the CEO personally. So there's this CEO of ours that has an initiative that produces briquettes out of organic waste. And one of his key reasons, okay, of course there is waste management, which is an issue in Madare. But I remember one of its main aims when he was starting that producing briquettes was so that he can be able to produce the bigger briquettes that can be used to cook in schools, because he knows the importance of food in school, because he was dependent. For him, all his childhood food came from school. So you see, for him, getting to that level, which for him was like the
ultimate
goal, actually has not achieved it yet. That's why he's still like doing so much. The ultimate goal is to be able to produce the bigger briquettes that can be used to cook in schools by feeding program and stuff like that. It's because for him, when his childhood food came from school, so he knows the importance of something like that.
Having food.
Yeah.
And he can easily relate. Yes, we can easily relate. Anyway, we can easily relate.
Yes.
So if you are starting an adventure,
is
it something that you can easily relate with? Is it because even if we are not getting money, but children are eating in school, satisfaction. But what if the drive was money? It means even if we achieve it and children are having food in school, but we are not making money, we will feel like, yeah, and that goes. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. Remember, this is just a section of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
If you want money, fine. You could go to the other side, and we will also, because we also have initiatives that we have just started purely for money. So it's not a bad thing to start with money in mind. We are saying in this particular category.
Even that CEO has other initiatives.
Exactly, but this one is special
because it answers to a certain cause.
Yes.
Okay.
Empathizing. Then tumesema you define it.
Yes.
You have to define it. You have to write it down, defining the problem.
Yes.
And here is where you come up with the problem statement. In empathy, you don't write. You experience it.
No, there's no writing.
There is no writing. You experience it.
You just
Yes. You put yourself into the customer's shoes. How are they feeling? So that is that. Then when you come to defining, you write it down. What is the problem?
The problem.
In plain black and white, right? Yeah. After writing, now you
don't think. You don't write what you felt in that person's shoes.
No. I felt sad.
No, because when you right now you're saying that after empathizing, after feeling the pain in that person's shoes, now you come to write. So someone might come and write, "Oh no, hey."
No.
So what do you?
And I have to now you have made me be keen on the words I'm using.
Yes.
When I say pain, it doesn't even have to be literally pain. It simply means a gap.
Yes.
Because, for example, I would go to someone who is already doing seedlings, and then I realize they are really struggling to get the packaging for their seedlings. Mara wakieka hii polythene wanaambiwa. Hiyo point yangu itapotea, usilete udaku.
Sorry, continue. Continue.
So I was saying, unaona wakieka package wanaekanga polythene.
Yes.
hiyo polythene saa zingine wanaletewa shida that
Oh,
hey,
that
you
is
know
what I
what,
wanted to say.
yes,
Because that is now okay. There's trees, but the seedlings are on plastic, and then
polythene,
the plastic
yes,
is going to
yes.
be thrown. So
So you see, when already what you're doing is empathizing, you're trying to understand
mm-hmm.
the problems they're going through, because I'm sure for them they really wanted to sell trees.
Yeah.
That is their goal. But
Yes.
there is this problem that they are facing. But you see, that's not a pain. Hautatoka hapa ati now you are sad because they are using polythene bags. Okay, I mean, we have really people who take environment to heart who will get sad. But you see, that is not like the pain
Yes.
that
Yes.
the other
You
person
know,
will.
we get you now.
Exactly.
Yes.
So tumesema empathize, tukasema define it.
Define it.
Define it.
Problem statement.
Yes.
Yes.
Then
Ideate.
you come up with ideas.
Mhm.
How can I solve this? Hapo kwa ideating ndio solutions zina come in.
Yes. That
So
pop in.
intersolve hii aje ka solution, intersolve hii aje, you come up with ideas.
Okay.
Then you look at which one works.
Mhm.
Whatever works, what do? You prototype, make a samples, try, mpelekee, mwambie hey ni aje, can you use this to yeah.
Okay.
Now that is the test part. So you make a prototype. After making, you take it to the user and say, can you test?
Okay.
Test. Wadau, kama idea bado imekataa, hiyo si yako. But I think that is how you come up with a very nice, wonderful idea.
That question is answered. If you still have like a question on that,
please, I'll be happy to take
just
it.
ask. Edwin we can get him even at middle of the night and he'll come and answer. Don't worry. I've paid him for 3 years to come and be answering these questions. Anyway, as another concern that when you are speaking, I just thought about from a prototype. Your prototype has been accepted by the market. That means you need to start production, right? So for you to start production, it's more like managing this initiative, like starting prototype, identifying now the bigger market, so that you start scaling up and producing more. So this is it's very different from just coming up with an idea, because there are skills into
actually what you have just talked about has like 3 steps in it.
Okay.
Which are totally different areas. What do you mean by okay? I should get into the 3. Okay. So you talked about producing, getting into, those are different steps. Now that we have particularly.
Okay, let's start from here.
You have the idea, you have the prototype, you have tested.
You have the idea, you've produced the first prototype, you've tested it, the market has accepted it. Now you want to start going to business.
You come up with go-to-market strategy, which is also another go-to-market strategy.
Go-to-market strategy.
Yes.
What is that?
It's simply a plan of how do you want to get into the market. Because if you get into the market wrongly, the market is always a weird place. People who take business seriously, it is always a chase. You don't just no.
You don't just
you don't just no. You don't do that. It's a plan. So you go to market strategy. Really? I know when we use these words, they become very, someone might say, mnaongea sana, no. But it's something. Because I'll say, my prototype has worked. Sindio, at this point, I want to assume you don't have problem making some few things to start getting into the market. So you get into the market. How do you get into the market? I want to open a social media page. But you start by asking your questions. How would I reach my customers? So you see, by only answering that question already gives you a few outlines of go-to-market strategy.
Yeah.
Are my customers in
Facebook?
In Facebook, are they? What is that? Actually, you're doing market research.
Hey.
Now, after you do this market research. This market research do what? Gives you answers to
how to get into the market.
And that could be summarized into a different document that now is called
go-to-market strategy. Go-to-market strategy.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have this product. I've tested it. It's working. I've made a few things. how do I reach the customers I want? Where are they? Who are they? What e-community? I had understood their problem, but have I really understood how to reach them? Because empathizing does not mean you understand that market. Unaweza elewa shida zao lakini the market is different.
It's different.
Yes. Because you know, you might, when I want to empathize with a child who does not, we were doing some initiatives here ya kutengenezea watoto bags. When we want to understand how children feel about not having a bag, who do you talk to? You talk to the child. But when you want to sell,
The parents.
I think that's a very good example.
Yes,
Do you
actually,
know?
that is a good example. Yes.
So empathizing, someone might say, but si nilikuwa nishaongea na community, nimeelewa pain.
Okay, the example I wanted to use, I don't know if I'll extend it enough. Make it simple. I just wanted to use the briquettes one.
Yeah.
For example, I want to ask you this. When going to understand the issues of waste management and stuff like that before coming up with briquettes, which people were you talking to?
Mostly we had a very wide conversation with the waste collectors because that was where our raw materials were going to come from. Remember, for us, we were the test subjects of empathy, so we bypassed your kitu ya empathy kidogo. Tukaingia tu into like we started drafting, defining and ideating. And we realized that tukitaka hii kitu we will need these people to supply ABCD. So how do we talk to them? So a lot of conversation around waste, so that tujue which type of waste can make a good briquette. We really have very few conversation with teachers or schools, yet those were our biggest market because we felt that would come into your part ya market research, because it didn't make sense to talk to them while we were not even having a prototype to, because how unawaletanga kuwauliza, can this help you, then they test it. Yeah, so we talked mostly to where our raw materials would come from.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. Yeah. It really does. Because after that I know after making briquettes for the first time before even going to the market right now, there was going to women that were cooking, giving them samples.
Now that was a market strategy.
Yeah, giving them samples.
Do you know why we did that? It answers the same question that I was talking about, that hey, the market is not as direct as we think. We thought we are going to make big briquettes to do what? To sell to schools. Another institution was hospitals. Because now we were trying to say, how many schools do we have in Mathare that are doing feeding program? Very few. Is that market enough to sustain our business? No. So do we need to enlarge the market? Yes. What did we do? We went looking for hospitals and big institutions. Now, could we be able to supply this market effectively without enough capital? No. Because you're not going to tell a school that leo tuja produce when they give you a 3 months every day watoto wanaweza strike kama wajakula.
Yeah.
So if they say that we are giving you a contract for 3 months, you have to ensure that, meaning capacity yako lazima ikuwe juu. How are we going to get into that market? We said, let's get into a market that can support us to build capacity. Tukasema, can we start with households and vendors? Au wanaweza nunua the small briquettes that they are using, and because that is regular income, it can help us build capacity before we are able to take bigger tasks like supplying to our school. So we are getting into the market, yes, but it is procedural. You know what to aim for at that particular time. So getting to the market does not mean umeshapata tu kitu umeweka hapo kwa barabara ushaanza. it needs thinking through. So you have to do your market analysis and then have a go-to-market strategy.
Okay.
Right?
It makes sense. And for go to market, you sometimes maybe your ultimate market it's the bigger market, but you realize that you need to start in the small so that you're able to reach the ultimate market. Because maybe, for example, even you're producing fruits and you want to be supplying to supermarkets, you want to start supplying to Naivas and Quick Marts. It's very difficult to just get your first harvest and then Naivas gets you and
do you know the ultimate goal for most fruit vendors is always the European market? Yes. But where do you start? You start with your local market, then you get some few they are called mini-marts. You start with those mini-marts. From those mini-marts you get to supermarkets.
You even start with vibandas.
Yeah, you see, because hawezi toka tu hapo umeenda quick mart ati you want to give them apples.
Okay.
But ukishafika hiyo level, people who are supplying
will start now looking for you. Okay.
And I'm sure people who are supplying Naivas and quick marts right now are already thinking of exporting. But you can't just start today and then tomorrow you want to go and export.
Okay. Makes sense. Is that I hope that is like understood.
Yes.
That is
so we have market research, go to market strategy, and there is a lot of things before we even get to scaling. Because you can't remember, you're not, when many people really misinterpret this, scaling does not mean producing too much.
What does scaling mean?
Scaling, you don't, and I know here we will have some problems with also professionals. Because
I'm trying to imagine when I started producing 2 bags of briquettes weekly.
Yes.
But now I'm able to produce 13 bags of briquettes.
Do you know you can produce 13 bags of briquettes, but you're still a small producer? Because when we are talking about production, scaling up production and scaling up in general, it's not always scaling up the practical goods or what, it's scaling up the system. So when I'm talking about scaling up kama hii yetu, I'm not going to talk about how many bags I've produced, but how many suppliers am I working with now? How many workers am I having? How many machines am I having? So the increase in the number of products that you're moving as an output is a result of other things. That is not the goal. The goal is not producing many. The goal is, if you really work well towards strengthening these systems, the goal, the result is increased production. Because if you focus on increased production, it's just a matter of time before you crash. Because your finances are not strong, your HR is not strong, your supply chain is not strong, your inventory is not strong. So scaling up, because see just producing much. So imagine if we are producing 1,000 bags na bado hatuna nini sales outlets ama sales plan, serious one. Who is going to sell these bags?
Okay.
So scaling a company, scaling an initiative has more to do with the systems rather than like
the production.
Now I was producing 10, now I'm producing 300.
Okay.
Unaweza produce kae nazo hapo.
Okay, now nimeelewa. It makes sense.
Makes
sense for me.
Yeah, so those are, when you are talking and asking how do you go to the market, how do you scale, how do you, and I was like, these are totally different things. Yeah.
So like there are total different steps. They don't just run like that. You have to finish one, get to another, and stuff like that.
Surprisingly, in business, here you can't just skip things.
So you also have to follow them step by step.
Step by step.
You can't go to this.
Let me not use the word you can't. Let me just say it's good.
If you go,
okay. Because you can, but the consequences.
Yeah, okay.
There are consequences.
Yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying.
So, for example, do you know we can just start selling without doing market research?
Yeah.
But what is the consequence?
Okay.
Unaweza fikiria una make pesa, kumbe you might be even making thrice. Ni vile you didn't take time to think.
Okay.
So you are happy, but a keen person atakuja kuangalia aseme huyu
Mm.
angefanya tu hivi, angekuwa na make thrice the amount of money ana make.
Okay.
And that's why clever people will give you an offer to buy your business,
Mm.
because hao wameona kitu yenye wewe
You've not seen.
you have not seen.
Okay. I don't know if they like because I really wanted us to just focus on the starting stage, because you know this like a processes, because now people now will go to now after you've identified your market, how do you move from there? And that means how do you maintain your production, how do you maintain your market, how do you maintain your production quality? Because now when you get into the market and you start scaling up, it means you are like production, it means you've hired a lot of people. So how do you also maintain the quality of the products you're producing?
You see all
How do
those
you
questions you're asking, very important. So you realize that scaling up is not an activity that today I'm scaling up. No, it's a series of small things zenye check ndio una realize, oh, I've scaled up. So when I tell you scaling up, it's not like tutaanza kuscale up kesho alafu next week
So
tumemaliza
scaling
kuscale
up
up.
is also like a process,
It's a growth thing.
a growth thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you tell me, if you come to me and say, hey, you know what, Edwin, I want to scale my business, nipe hii pesa, and within 2 weeks tutakuwa tumescale up, I'm like, okay. For you, you're taking scaling up as simply increasing your produce or your output. That's not scaling up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have come up with a business and tumefika level, yeah. Imeingia kwa market.
Yeah. I think that is
that's enough.
that's
for last
enough
time.
for from last time.
Now from there we can now join
Yes,
into
we can
last
now
time.
join into
You
last
align
time.
it
You
to
are
get
aligning
funding
to get funding.
to do these other things we are
So
talking about.
from here you can really connect it from. So if you have listened to the other episode,
Yeah.
immediately come back to this one so that you're able to connect it.
Yeah.
But you can also, I don't know, yeah, maybe you'll listen to this one before, but it's just
Either
listen.
way, now
Either
that we
way,
have talked
they're
about
able
it,
to
you will
connect.
look for
You're able
it.
to connect from
Yeah.
that. And I think it was very, very important. Now from there, we'll talk about now after you're getting your money, managing the projects, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it-
So that is where we are
issues.
getting to next, yeah?
Yes, you get issues of sustainability. Are you getting funds that you're sustainable? For how long will you depend on fundings? Is it okay to depend on funding, or for how long should you depend on funding and stuff like that? That should be our next discussion. But unless a question occurs from this, we'll still be able to answer that.
Sure.
Also, if a question occurs, we'll answer, then we continue with our conversation. This is going to be a very important series of episodes on talking about green entrepreneurship. And yeah. So, until next time, I hope you've learned something. Comment in the comment section what you feel and how was this helpful for you, or what have you been doing differently, or what are you going to do differently, or what different thing have you learned as an entrepreneur generally, because this was like for general entrepreneurship, right? This was not tagged to like green entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So what have you learned as an upcoming entrepreneur? Has it been helpful for you to come up with the different ideas? Or what mistakes did you make, or which step did you miss before getting into business as a person? So thank you for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe after watching or before watching, leaving your comment and sharing this video so that other young entrepreneurs can get it. Until next time, my name is June. Bye.